All right, hello, and welcome to the Healthy and Wealthy webinar. This is the ultimate fitness blueprint for entrepreneurs. So, if you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner and you realize that in the midst of building your business and your company and trying to leave a legacy, that you may have let your health slip a bit while you were chasing that wealth, and now you want to get yourself back on track and bring out that inner superhero that we all have inside of us, then you're in the right place. After all, I fully believe that in order for our businesses to perform at the highest levels, we must also be able to perform at our highest level. And that starts with taking the time to take care of our physical as well as our mental health. I'm fitness and nutrition expert Jose Ruiz, and in this webinar, I'll be sharing with you the blueprint on how I help my clients drop 10 to 20 pounds of fat in just 12 short weeks, as well as how to increase your energy naturally, how to improve your mental performance, what you really should be eating and not based on all the hype and fads and everything that are currently surrounding our industry, and how to do all this without having to spend more than 30 minutes in the gym. So make sure that you stick with me till the end of the webinar, and that way you will be able to get all the information that you need to see what really works to transform your body, and that way you don't get caught up in the same old lies and confusion that millions of other people have been caught in for over the past 50 years. But before we get started, I just want to make something very clear, okay? First of all, let me tell you that if you are here thinking that I'm going to sell you some sort of supplement, I am not. Okay, I'm not here to sell you any supplements. I'm a firm believer that you can get the body of a Greek god or goddess, or if you just want to look good naked, without having to spend money on pills or powders or potions. I'm also not here to sell you in any sort of affiliate program. So I'm not a P90X rep, I'm not an Insanity rep, no beach body stuff, okay? I want you to learn what works and be able to use the things that I'm going to give you throughout this webinar for the rest of your life. So I'm not here to try to pitch some sort of affiliate program on you or any of those other things right now. You do not have to buy anything at the end of this webinar. I'm going to do my best to give you all the information you need to implement and get started unlocking your ultimate self today. Also, I want to tell you who this is not for, just to make sure that we are all on the same page, and so that I don't waste your time and you don't waste my time. So if you're here thinking that you're going to learn about some sort of magical pill or powder that you can take to drop weight tomorrow without having to put in any effort, this webinar is definitely not for you. If you're afraid to break a sweat, if you're afraid to get your butt in the gym or outdoors or even in your own living room and do some work and you don't want to sweat, this webinar is definitely not for you either. And finally, if you feel like getting healthy and lean should be complicated and you think that maybe you're going to pick up some sort of special guru secret that I picked up from Russian strength coaches training the next level of elite Olympic athletes, then this webinar is definitely not for you. As a matter of fact, you see, that's not the way I work. Einstein had a great quote that says, "Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler." And I'm a firm believer in that. Okay, I try to make this as easy for you to grasp as possible. It does not have to be complicated. Yes, it's all based on science and it's all based on proven techniques, but hopefully I'll be able to distill those down for you in a way that you can understand them and start to implement them today. I've been a health and wellness coach for a little over a decade now, and over the years I've learned how to maximize my efforts in the gym as well as with my nutrition so that I don't have to spend hours working out or drive myself crazy with weighing and measuring my food, counting calories, and basically having my kitchen look like a science lab with all kinds of scales and measures and cups and spoons and things like that. So I'm going to do my best, again, like I said, to help you guys understand all this. So, but first, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I wasn't always fit, okay? At one point, I found myself 25 pounds overweight. I was depressed, very much so, for many different reasons in my life, but I was starting to let myself go. I was suffering from really bad IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. If you guys don't know what that is, it is not fun to have, all right? And because of that, I also had some anxiety, so it was horrible. The IBS would trigger the anxiety would trigger the IBS, At one point, I felt like I couldn't even leave my house. It had gotten to the point where I would have to find a job or work with clients that were very, very close by, because if I had to drive any sort of long distance, um, it just wasn't working out for me. So, not a good position to be in, especially when you feel like you're struggling to get your life back on track. And in high school, I was known as the healthy guy. I was the guy that worked out all the time. I was the guy that played sports, and people came to for training advice and all that. And they always thought that I knew exactly what to do. So, and at the same time that all this was going on, just to make things even worse, I was working on building my own personal training business and fitness studio. So, and as many of you business owners know, and contrary to what you may think, when it comes to owning your own fitness studio, the fastest way to get yourself out of shape is to own a business, even a gym, because you do not have any time for yourself, especially if you do not make that time for yourself. And I'm hopefully gonna impart that into you guys today, where you know that it is important and it is not selfish to make time to take care of yourself, okay? I mean, I barely had time to work out. I wasn't sleeping well, okay, because I'm always thinking about all the things I had to do in my business. And I definitely didn't have time to be making all kinds of meals and spending all my time in the kitchen. And as someone who's in the health and fitness industry, it's very bad for business to let yourself go down that rabbit hole. So, I mean, basically, as a health and wellness coach, I found myself screwing up a little bit. So one day, I decided there had to be a better way for me to balance my health and fitness along with my busy life, without having it consume me or detract from all the other important things I had to do, like run a business and take care of my family. So I began to play around with my training. I started to really look into the science again about how to transform the body. I took a deep dive into nutritional science and cut through all the crap and fads out there and only utilize what really worked and what made sense when it comes to fueling our bodies in the most optimal way. And let me tell you this, personal training certifications do not teach you anything about nutrition, unfortunately, other than the basics of this is a carbohydrate, this is a protein, this is a fat, yada, yada, yada. We all know that. And they teach you how to subtract 500 calories a week for someone that wants to lose weight, and how to add 500 calories a week for someone that wants to gain weight. But it's not that simple. It is not just math, okay? And a lot of the reason for that is because the curriculums for our personal training certifications and even our nutritionist certifications are sponsored by the major food companies. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but a lot of the major continuing education for our registered dietitians and nutritionists here in the United States are sponsored by companies like Coca-Cola and Kellogg's and Post cereals. Okay, so if you think that there's no hidden agenda as to what they're teaching as far as nutrition goes to the mainstream, then I urge you to take a deeper look and guess again. I mean, you see commercials on TV for Special K and Flintstone vitamins touted as healthy for us. Okay, and that's definitely not the case. Yeah, sure, you can starve yourself for a little bit and lose some weight eating that crap, but your body is not going to run optimally, and that is what we're here to learn, how to do things so that we can run optimally and efficiently. So since then, I've experienced almost every training style and diet imaginable, from traditional bodybuilding to powerlifting to CrossFit. I've even done triathlons and competed in gymnastics and some martial arts. I've definitely played around with many, many different diets, and I've tried everything from Atkins to the paleo diet to a ketogenic diet where you're eating 80% plus of your calories from fat alone, and all of these with varying degrees of effectiveness. You know, everything works at first because it's something different for your body. So until I finally came across the combination that works, and this is what I want to share with you. I want to share with you what I learned after sorting through all the crap, after looking through all the research again, after experimenting on myself and with a couple clients, exactly what works. I mean, imagine being able to eat all the food you want without having to worry about counting calories. Imagine being able to work out for only 30 to 40 minutes or less and still be able to get that lean body that you want in those six-pack abs. And imagine what you could do in your business and in your personal life when you and your brain are fueled so perfectly that you feel like you can tackle anything. That is the level that we want to get at. Optimal human performance. That's what we're after. We want our businesses to run optimally. We want our minds to be optimal. We want our bodies to be optimal. And one of the craziest things that I realized from diving into all the information that's available to us is that most of the information out there is just plain wrong. I mean, take a look at this chart. Okay? These are the obesity trends in this country predicted out to the year 2030. And it doesn't take a scientist to realize that that's not trending so well for us in this country. Okay? If we're doing what the so-called experts are telling us, then why are we getting fatter as a nation? And this is happening even though we have more diet programs, more gyms, more boot camps, more books, TV shows, and all kinds of other things dedicated to teaching us how to lose weight and get healthy than ever before. Yet, as a society, none of it is making a big difference. Why do you think that is? It's certainly not lack of effort. More and more people are signing up for gym memberships. More and more people are buying books and info products and DVDs and workouts and supplements and you name it. I mean, definitely not due to lack of information or lack of effort. We have plenty of that. I believe the problem is that we have been given the wrong information. We have been taught the wrong systems. Not only that, our approach to health and fitness is completely backwards. We think it starts with going to the gym or getting on the latest diet fad or whatever it is that is trending out there right now, but in reality, it starts way before that. The road to unlocking the ultimate version of you actually has 5 different pillars. Okay, number 1 is mindset. Pillar number 2 is motivation. Number 3 is nutrition. Number 4 is support and accountability. And number 5 is exercise. When you can make all these 5 pillars work for you, then fitness and health and vitality come as a result of that almost effortlessly, okay? And yes, those are actually listed in order of importance. And notice how far down the list I put exercise, okay? That's not to say that exercise isn't important. Every single one of these is important, but no amount of working out, no matter how effective you think it is, will help you if your mind is not in the right place. If you can't find the motivation to get yourself out of bed 30 minutes earlier to do your routine, or to stop at the gym on the way home after a long day at work, or not go through that drive-through because it's convenient for you, you're never going to win the battle against body fat. We need to get your mindset right and develop a powerful and compelling reason as to why you want to drop that fat and get in shape. And I don't mean because you want to look good naked. Okay, and that can be a starting point. We all want to look good naked. All right. Wanting a set of abs is not going to be motivation enough when it's dark outside and all you want to do is get that extra hour of sleep. Or you've had a long day at the office and all you want to do is get home and plop down on the couch with a beer and watch that whole season of Game of Thrones that you TiVo'd or whatever popular show is going on at the moment. I honestly don't even watch that much TV or Netflix or anything. I don't even have cable, as a matter of fact. So we really need to get into that mindset, all right? So let's dive into the blueprint that has helped me effortlessly unlock my ultimate potential and stay lean and fit year-round, as well as my clients. And the first thing, as I mentioned earlier, is mindset. So before you dive into any fitness program, you have to do a couple of critical things that will help set you up for success, all right? The first thing you have to do is decide why you want to do this. And you have to go deep on this. You can't just say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Great. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? And this is very powerful when you start to dive in. Okay, why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Because I don't like being fat. Okay, still not good enough, okay? Why don't you like being fat? Because I'm tired all the time. And I want to look better in my clothes. Okay, good, but not even more. Why do you want to look better in your clothes? Well, because I feel like my wife doesn't find me as attractive anymore, and I want to set a good example for my children also about how to live a healthy lifestyle because they're watching me, and I want to make sure that I'm here to watch them graduate high school. There you go. You see, when you dive into a why deep enough, now you have something to motivate you on those dark days when it's cold outside and you know you got to get up and you know you got to go do your workout. And if you think about, well, I just want to lose 20 pounds, that shit's not going to get you out of bed. Okay? The second thing is you have to meet yourself where you are. If you're not where you want to be physically or mentally, you have to be honest with yourself and you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Okay, don't lie to yourself and pretend that you're something you're not, and this is okay because this will give us a starting point, okay? And here's a couple ways to figure out exactly where you stand. Number one, what is it that you want? You want to lose weight, you want to have more energy, you want to sleep better, you want your brain to perform better. You have to decide exactly what it is that you want. The second thing you have to do is decide who do you have to become to reach that goal. Because if you're not there yet, then a part of you is not quite matching up with what your intentions are. So you need to decide, who do I need to become in order to reach that goal? What type of person do I need to be? What type of person is already doing and achieving the things that I want? Next, you have to decide, why is this important to you? Why do I want this? Okay, this goes back to number one. Okay, really deciding on that deep level why. So the next thing is, what do you have to do in order to accomplish this? Do you have to exercise more? Do you have to eat better? Do you have to just start exercising, period? Do you have to put it into your calendar? Do you have to make time for it? Do I have to get an accountability partner? I mean, think about whatever it is that you have to do in order to accomplish this goal, okay? And then finally, what happens if you don't get there? Think about that. How are you going to feel? How are you going to feel if you set this goal for yourself and you don't reach it? Is it going to crush you? Is it going to make you feel unmotivated? Is it going to make you feel like you're not worthy of this? Okay? Is it going to make you feel great? Okay, fine, I tried, I didn't get there. Whatever it is, you have to really think about what happens if I don't get there and really make that very crystal clear in your mind. Okay? So when you can answer all of these questions honestly and completely, you will already be halfway to transforming yourself. This is something that the majority of people don't take the time to do, and this is why we're constantly yo-yoing, and why gym memberships go up and down, and why more people have gym memberships that actually go to the gym, okay? Because we don't take the time to really sit down and think about the transformation that we're about to make. We're going to turn ourselves into the type of person that likes to take care of our bodies, that likes to take care of our well-being and our mentality, okay? We don't fall short of our goals because we lack effort, and especially you as a business owner, obviously you know how to put in some effort. We fall short of our goals when our inner dialogue does not match our beliefs. We think we want to be fit and stuff, but really inside we're telling ourselves that maybe we're not worthy, okay? I mean, somewhere in your mind, you're telling yourself that you are not worthy of getting that goal. And you use excuses like, I don't know what to do, or I don't have time to work out, or I can't afford to be healthy, eating healthy costs too much, I can't buy all organic, okay? I'm here to tell you that all of those rationalizations that you give yourself are basically a bunch of lies, okay? I'm going to be straight up with you today on this webinar. As a matter of fact, the word rationalize tells you right there. You are telling yourself some rational lies. All right? So, or maybe you're afraid that people around you will begin to treat you different if you make these changes in your life. So you do little things that cause you to self-sabotage your success. You must learn to uncover the hidden lies that are holding you back. Okay, this is where we go back to earlier about meet yourself where you are. Okay, we all have an inner dialogue, and if we just sit long enough to listen to it, we realize what we are actually telling ourselves. And you do this by answering those questions that I just talked about. So the second key point to this blueprint is nutrition. And this one is huge. I mean, I think we all know by now that what we eat matters, okay? This is where I may say some things that fly in the face of conventional wisdom, but that's okay. Like I said earlier, all the advice that we've been following about what is supposedly healthy for us has turned us into one of the fattest, sickest nations in the world. So obviously things aren't working. And the first thing I need to address is one of the biggest lies, and that is that we need to count calories. This is simply not true. Sure, we have to make sure that we don't overeat because no amount of exercise can outrun a bad diet. But if we are focusing on whole, real, nutrient-dense food, our bodies will self-regulate calories and we don't have to worry so much about counting them. As a matter of fact, we didn't even know what a calorie is, let alone count them, until about 2 generations ago. And these are the 2 generations that are the fastest in human history. So what does that tell you? Okay? Now, some simple math will actually show you how ridiculously flawed this whole calorie counting thing is. And I'm not going to go back to biology here or anything, but, you know, counting calories based on the laws of thermodynamics, where calories in, calories out is all you need to do. Our bodies are not a math equation. Our bodies are a live biological being with very, very complex systems. Okay? So let me prove this to you right now. According to the FDA, over the past 40 years, we are consuming on average 425 more calories per day than we were 40 years ago. So if we do a little bit of simple math, 425 calories per day more times 365 days a year means that we would be consuming an extra 155,125 calories per year. Now, there are 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. So if we continue with the math, 155,125 extra calories per year divided by 3,500 calories in a pound of fat, that means that we should be gaining an extra 44.32 pounds per year. Okay, this means that according to the calories in versus calories out, almost everybody on this planet should be gaining an extra 44 to 45 pounds per year. That's just in 1 year. Now, multiply that by the 40 years that the FDA has been looking into this. That means the average person on the earth would be weighing upwards of 1,700 pounds. And I don't know about you, but I haven't seen any 1,700 pound people walking around. So, and that is due to one simple reason, okay? It is something called our set point. And that's because our bodies will self-regulate calories, all right? You can think of your set point as your body's sweet spot. It's where your body wants to be. If you remember back in science class, we learned about a little something called homeostasis, all right? And this is a balance point where your body feels comfortable, where it wants to be, and where it feels its healthiest. So we want to let our body reach that set point, okay? We want to be in a state of homeostasis where we are functioning properly, and our bodies can easily reach this point if we simply provide it with real micronutrient-dense food. And therein lies the other key point, okay? Micronutrient-dense food. This is very important. This means that calorie for calorie, these foods will contain more nutrition than the processed junk that most of us consume and we think is healthy. You have to think of food as information. Every time you put food in your mouth, you are running a program, like a software program on a computer that is telling your body what to do. And the program can either tell your body that it's okay to burn off excess body fat because you're giving it plenty of healthy, high-quality fuel to burn, or it can tell your body to store body fat even though you're eating plenty of food. It's just a bunch of nutrient-deficient crap that your body has no idea to do with. Therefore, it's going to say, hey, we need more, we need more, we need more. Take this junk aside, store it somewhere. Oh, that body fat cell looks good. We can put it in there. And I don't think you find this as a surprise that your body will treat 100 calories of some high-quality grass-fed beef much more differently than your 100-calorie snack pack worth of pretzels. All right? And how many of you can sit down and go through a whole bag of apples? I bet you not many of you, unless you actually force yourself to do that. And I bet many of you will stop after one, maybe two apples. And that's because apples are nutrient dense and your body knows that it's getting everything it needs and can therefore signal you to stop eating. It knows what to do with the stuff in the apple. Now, how many of you can sit down with a whole bag of Doritos in one sitting and munch down and basically empty out that whole bag? I know I've done that before. And that's because Doritos are a dead food. And your body is trying to assimilate what it can from the Doritos, but it's getting nothing. And therefore, it's going to keep sending you the signal that you're still hungry. Okay? There are two very important hormones in our body that we must control in order to be able to not overeat. And that is insulin and leptin. And leptin is the one, oddly enough, produced by our fat cells that tells your body when you're full. So if leptin cannot be released, the signal to your brain that says, hey, I got what I need, I'm full, I don't need any more food, gets blocked, okay? And the more junk we eat and the more processed foods we eat and the more sugars we eat, the more that signal gets blocked and you do not get the signal to stop eating. And that is one of the major reasons why we overeat. Okay, this is the power of eating micronutrient-dense foods and why you don't need to count calories. Because when you give your body proper food, it's almost impossible to overeat. As a matter of fact, the number one complaint I get from clients when I give them their nutrition plan is that it's too much food. They have a hard time eating everything that they're supposed to eat and they still lose weight. And believe me, they are not going hungry. So here's what you need to know about what to eat. All right? You must remember, food is information. Our bodies take in what we give them, and depending on what it's made up of, we'll either choose to utilize it to build and repair and refuel ourselves, and it will work to our advantage. Or it will find it useless and either pass it through if you're lucky, or it'll probably break it down into glucose, this very simple sugar form, and it will happily store it as body fat. And this is the issue with what most of us have been taught is healthy. We stuff ourselves with healthy whole grains and low-fat foods, and all these things easily get stored as body fat if we do not utilize those starches as energy. Unlike fats and proteins, which your body cannot easily turn into adipose tissue or fat. Your body wants to use these things up and knows how to use those macronutrients, okay? The other thing is that we must remember fats are essential for optimal brain function and hormone production. So all these low-fat diets and things that people are trying to live on, you are killing your brain. You are wreaking havoc on your endocrine system and your hormones. So when it comes to food, choose whole, real, live food from the most natural source possible and as high quality as possible. You want to know where your food came from, preferably, okay? This means that we want to choose things like grass-fed beef, free-range chicken and eggs, wild-caught fish, organic vegetables and fruits, okay? And if you can't do this, get as much clean, healthy food as your budget allows. But I promise you, if you make a few little lifestyle adjustments, you will be surprised how paying the extra $1 for those free-range eggs at the supermarket or that free-range chicken is not going to have you filing for bankruptcy anytime soon. Also, we have to make sure to take in plenty of carbs and fibers to support our training goals because we will be exercising. So I am not a low-carb advocate. I believe that carbs are essential, but your carbohydrate tolerance and how much you can eat really depends on a couple of factors, okay? Like your age, your gender, your weight, the type of exercise you're doing, the body type you have, whether you're an ectomorph, a mesomorph, an endomorph. It really depends on how your body handles carbohydrates. And this is very individual. It's not something, we all don't handle carbohydrates the same way. But for the most part, if you're training hard and you're busting your butt in the gym, you are definitely going to need to replenish those glycogen stores that you are using up by eating some carbohydrates so that your body can be ready and repair for the next workout. So your starchy carbs should come preferably from gluten-free sources. And that doesn't mean that they always have to be gluten-free, but I find that for most people, the majority of clients I train, going gluten-free is a godsend to them. They feel so much better, they sleep better, their skin is better, everything. So those are things like oats and oat bran and quinoa and rice and potatoes and gluten-free pasta. We can also use sprouted grain breads like the Ezekiel bread, eat buckwheat or amaranth. I mean, all these things are delicious. So, oh, but as a side note, if you do eat something like, say, a quinoa, make sure that you let it soak for a little while before cooking it, because quinoa contains saponins in there, which can be a little bit of a gut irritant to people. So if you're going to have quinoa, or you've had quinoa and you find that maybe it irritates your stomach and your digestive tract a little bit, try letting it soak for an hour or so before you cook it in some water, and that's really going to make it a lot more digestible for you. So also, even if you don't have celiac disease, the majority of people have a bit of a gluten intolerance and they don't even realize it. So this is why I'm suggesting to go gluten-free, and especially because the wheat that is grown in this country now and that we use for food, it has been so genetically modified that it's a Franken wheat. I mean, it's not even remotely close to what wheat was just even 50 years ago. So our bodies don't recognize it, and they react to it like some sort of foreign invader, like a virus or some sort of bacteria that's trying to invade, and it attacks it. And what that does is that it starts to cause these low levels of inflammation that start to tear us up from the inside out. And it's for this reason that I like to avoid most grains, and especially the gluten-containing grains, and I highly prefer that all my clients go gluten-free. So the next thing you need to make sure is that you're eating plenty of healthy fats. Okay, this is critical for optimizing your hormones and getting you lean. I want you to remember this. We need fat. We need fat to keep us healthy and lean. It's super important. Fat does not make you fat. Okay, we need fats to make things like testosterone and estrogen in our body, along with plenty of other hormones. And guess what? Your brain is 70% fat. Oh, sorry about that. Computer has a mind of his own. So, your fats, that should come from healthy sources, and there are plenty of healthy sources out there. Fat, here's a list right here: flax seeds, chia seeds, grapeseed oil, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, which you should never cook with. Okay, extra virgin olive oil is good to drizzle on things, salads and vegetables and things like that. You do not want to heat up olive oil. It's not very stable, and you can denature the oil very quickly. Hemp oil, avocado oil, tallow, real lard, okay, not Crisco or any of that fake crap that's made there. Things like grass-fed butter, okay, and Kerrygold is the brand that you can pretty much find across the United States. That's that Irish butter. It comes from grass-fed cows, and butter from grass-fed sources is way different than traditional butter from grain-fed cows and the normal stuff that we find out there. Also, we want to avoid certain fats, okay, because not all fats are created equal, like I just said. You want to avoid vegetable oils at all costs, okay? So canola oil, corn oil, soybean oil, all these vegetable oil blends, peanut oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, cottonseed oil, margarine, shortening, any fake butter substitutes, okay? These oils are typically highly processed because they're polyunsaturated, which means that they are not very stable and they don't take heat very well. So therefore, they have to process them very much in order to get them to be, quote, stable at high cooking temperatures. Plus, they're also very high in omega-6, which is a highly inflammatory substance when consumed in large doses. Now, yes, our bodies do need omega-6, omega-3s, and all that sort of stuff, but we want that in a ratio of about 3:1 omega-6 to omega-3. And due to our modern, highly processed diet, as well as using grains to feed all the animals that we eat, the average person has a ratio of about 20 or more to 1. This means that we are walking around in a constant state of inflammation, and it's slowly killing us, and we don't even realize it. Now, this is how we're going to put it all together, okay, from the nutrition section. You want to eat every 2 to 4 hours. All right, there's plenty of science out there. I know there's a lot of debates about this, but if you want to get lean, the science has shown over and over again that feeding your body every 2 to 4 hours is optimal for losing body fat while still being able to maintain lean muscle and get that nice, lean, toned, shredded physique that we would all love to have. Okay, so don't worry about counting calories. If you're eating whole, micronutrient-dense food, your body will take care of the calories and you will not overeat. Also, you want to shoot for getting close to a gram of protein per pound of body weight, depending on how hard you're working out. Anywhere from 0.8 to 1 gram is fine. You can even go as low as 0.6, okay? If you're a female, 0.6, 0.7 is fine. That's plenty of protein to support all your training goals. And we're definitely going to be training hard to achieve that lean, muscular tone physique, and we want that protein. It is essential to recovering and building muscle. Not to mention that protein is a thermogenic food, and that means that your body has to work much harder to digest protein than it does, say, a carbohydrate, which means that when we eat protein, we get to burn more calories, and that is always a good thing. We also want to rotate protein sources and include plant-based proteins in there, such as hemp seeds and chia seeds, and I like these because those are possibly the most perfect plant-based protein foods that there are. I mean, hemp seeds contain all essential amino acids, all essential fatty acids, omega-3s. I mean, they're basically a real superfood, and you can use them on anything from mixing it with almond flour and breading your chicken breast to sprinkling them on your salads or throwing them in a smoothie. I mean, they're so versatile. I love them, and if you've never had hemp seeds, they basically kind of taste like sunflower seeds, so they're pretty tasty. The other thing you want to make sure you do is start your day with the most optimal fuel possible, okay? But before any of that, before anything hits your stomach, we want to make sure that every single morning we start with a large glass of water, okay? Preferably with a little bit of lemon in it. This is going to kickstart your body. It's like taking an inner bath. It's going to start to hydrate your cells. We've been sleeping for 7 to 8 hours, hopefully, and we wake up in a little bit of dehydration, so it's going to get your metabolism going, it's going to get your digestive enzymes going, it's going to start to wake you up. So, and after that large bottle of water, I'm going to suggest that you start with something called the breakfast bowl. And I learned this from UFC coach Mike Dolce, and if you don't know Mike Dolce, he is responsible for training more champion UFC athletes than any other coach out there and helping them make their weight class. And the breakfast bowl is a staple of his program, and it's been something that has made a huge difference ever since I started implementing this into my life. And it's super easy to make. It looks like a lot of things on the screen right now, but you can set this up in like a little conveyor line on your kitchen counter, and you can have this breakfast bowl made in 5 minutes or less. Okay, and I love this thing because it's supercharged with everything you need to start your day on the right foot. It's full of protein, it's full of healthy carbs for energy, it's full of healthy fats for your brain and to burn off body fat and to keep your metabolism stoked and burning hot the rest of the day, and it's super quick and easy to make. Okay, like I said, you can have all your ingredients for this in little Tupperware containers and just go down like an assembly line, and you can literally make this thing in the time it takes you to boil water. So the other part of nutritioning and the nutrition section of this, is snacking. All right, this is where it can get a little bit difficult for people because we don't ever plan our snacks. We usually just grab whatever we see, you know, and if we're hungry in the middle of the day, we're just going to go for whatever's convenient, and I can promise you that 99% of the time it's not going to be something that's good for you. So plan your snacks. And one rule that you need to follow when you snack is to never eat carbohydrates by themselves. Remember earlier I said 2 very important hormones that we want to control are insulin and leptin. And eating a carbohydrate by itself is going to skyrocket insulin levels, which we don't want because insulin is a storage hormone. So we want to keep that puppy in check. We want to be able to have steady, nice insulin release that's going to give us a nice steady energy, that's going to help prevent the excess storage of body fat. And since we want to control that release of insulin, you need to mix your carbohydrates with some sort of fat or protein. Okay, so here's some examples of some snack ideas that will do just that. You can have an apple with a handful of almonds. You can have a banana, dip it into some peanut butter or some almond butter. You can even have some blueberries mixed in with some full-fat Greek yogurt and some chia seeds. This is one of my favorites, and that thing will keep you going all day long, fueled on some high-quality fuel. And another one I like is a sliced kiwi with some mango and some chia seeds and some hemp seeds, and I just mix all that up together in a little bowl, and it is delicious. Okay, and all these can be great on-the-go snacks. You can have them pre-mixed, pre-made, and just take them with you so that when you're hungry, you don't even have to think about it. All right. So let's recap on the nutrition section. Number 1, eat whole, micronutrient-dense food. Make sure that it's as close to its natural source as possible. Okay. If it comes from a plant, it comes from a tree, it comes from a bush, or had a face on it, or something like that, you can probably eat it. Okay. Last I checked, kashi bars didn't grow on trees. So think about that when you're picking your snacks and your food to eat, all right? Start with a large bottle of high quality room temperature water first thing in the morning, preferably with a little bit of lemon juice, okay? Make that breakfast bowl for your first meal. I promise you, once you get used to doing that, you will love it, okay? And you're gonna feel great. Do your best to eat every 2 to 4 hours. Choose gluten-free carbs whenever possible. Avoid vegetable oils at all costs, all those nasty, nasty, highly inflammatory oils. Okay, stay away from those. And never eat carbohydrates by themselves, always with some sort of fat or a little bit of protein, and that way we can control that release of insulin. Okay, if you can follow those couple of steps, you'll be 90% ahead of the average person out there who complains that they can't lose weight. Now, on to blueprint point number 3. Okay, I hope you guys are keeping track of this. This is exercise, all right? We knew it was coming. So this is where we get to have some fun. And I don't know if you have access to a gym membership or not, but I can assure you, you don't need a gym membership to get in great shape, okay? Now, it doesn't hurt if you have access to a gym because that gives you options, but I got in some of the best shape of my life when I was working out outdoors and didn't own a gym membership for about 3 years. The thing that you have to know about exercise is that you have to plan it in a way that it will elicit the most optimal and beneficial hormonal response and adaptation to the body. So what does this mean? Simple. You need to work large muscle groups and you need intensity. You cannot be afraid to bust your ass in the gym, okay? You can't be afraid to breathe heavy. You can't be afraid to break a sweat. You can't be afraid to go balls to the wall when you get in there and work out. Remember, this is not going to be for an hour, okay? These are going to be nice, short, intense workout sessions that are going to get you awesome results. Okay, there's a saying that rings true in a lot of training circles, and that is, intensity is the shortcut to results. Sorry, I had to go back on that one for you guys. Now, intensity doesn't necessarily mean that you have to lift heavy weights, okay? Although that is certainly one way to increase intensity, and if you have access to barbells and dumbbells, then you can easily train yourself. But many training principles are not geared towards becoming a bodybuilder. Mine aren't, okay? I'm not here to teach you how to become a bodybuilder or a power lifter or a professional CrossFit athlete, okay? My training principles are geared towards getting you fit, getting you lean, and yes, you will build some muscle, and that is a good thing because muscle keeps you lean and keeps your metabolism revved up all day long. But when your goal is to be in the best shape of your life, you're going to train very differently than when your goal is to step on stage as a bodybuilder. So, how do you maximize your workouts or your time in the gym? Simple. Circuit training, okay? Circuit training maximizes efficiency and it maximizes results, all right? Another thing I want to address is the overtraining myth. You will not overtrain. We're only going to be working out 3 to 4 days a week. Now, that's not to say that you can't overtrain, but unless you're a professional athlete, it's highly unlikely that you'll overtrain, and that is simply because you will not be able to push yourself that far. No offense. Okay? Your body's going to tell you when to quit. So, and overtraining basically means that you've just pushed your nervous system too far. It means you've gone too much without proper recovery, without proper nutrition, and you didn't give yourself enough time to recover. And we are definitely going to make sure that that is not the case with you guys, and especially because we want to be efficient, we want to be in and out, we want to get our results, we want to go on to doing whatever else that we have to do. We do not want to live in the gym, okay? So when you're training to lose fat and get in the best shape of your life, you need to think about your training in a couple of different stages. Number 1, utilize full body workouts. Always. Okay, it's not going to hurt you. Yes, we will be splitting up certain parts, and I'll get into that later, but every day is going to involve some sort of full body training. And we're going to alternate between light, medium, and heavy days. Okay, that way we're cycling through things. We're avoiding that fatigue of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we're going to make sure that we include recovery days. These are critical. Your body does not change in the gym. Your body changes when you rest and recover, and you must remember this, okay? More is not always better. So let's break this down a little bit. You want to make sure that you are cycling your training, okay? And you want to split up your workout sessions basically into a strength/skill session, the first half of your workout, and then what I call the conditioning or finisher session in the second part of your workout. Even if you're training with body weight only, you can still do this, okay? You can have light, medium, and heavy days. It simply means adjusting the intensity depending on the angle of work that you're doing and all that sort of stuff, all right? So that gets a little bit more complicated with just body weight training alone, but if you guys want, you can contact me and I will be more than happy to help you out with that sort of stuff. So also, you want to build some muscle, okay? This is where we're going to split the training up this way. Like I said earlier, you build a little bit of muscle, your body's metabolism revs up, it gives you that nice, lean, tight, sexy look that we're after, okay? There's no way around this. Building muscle is a good thing, and trust me, even for you ladies, you will not get big and bulky. You do not have the testosterone levels in order to do that. That is one of the myths that I bust on a daily basis. Okay, you will not get huge or jacked and ripped. Okay, it's just damn near impossible for girls to get that way. So don't be afraid to lift heavy. Here's a little sample workout to give you an idea of what I mean by split your workout sessions into strength and then a conditioning section. Okay, say we come in and we're gonna do legs. Today, we want to start with some squats. Well, not legs, but our strength and our skill is going to be squatting. So, warm up, get to a squat. So whether you're squatting with kettlebells, dumbbells, a barbell, whatever it is, okay, we're going to do a 5x5. So you're going to do 5 sets of 5. You're going to warm up very, very good. You're going to get under there and you're going to work your way up to a weight that is challenging for about 5 reps. Now, if you happen to know your max, that's going to be somewhere around 80 to 85% of your max. You complete 5 sets of 5, and then you move on to doing that finisher or the conditioning part of your workout, okay? And the finisher is where you kick up the intensity, and it usually involves a full body workout, like I said, okay? And this can be something as simple as running 5 to 10 sets, depending on how conditioned you are, of 30-second sprints, where you go all out, either on a bicycle or on a treadmill or out in the park, and you just go as hard as you can for 30 seconds, and then you give yourself full recovery in between, okay, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Or it can be something like this conditioning workout that I put up here, okay? 10 jump squats, 20 push-ups, 30 sit-ups. Try to go through that 4 times as quickly as possible with as little rest as possible. So when you perform exercise in this manner, you unleash a cascade of fat-burning and muscle-building hormones that will start to transform you and bring out that awesome athletic physique that we all want. And because we used up most of our glycogen stores in the beginning of the workout when we were lifting the heavy weights, now you're going to force your body to tap into that body fat for fuel, okay? This is why we want to work out in this way. Now, to recap on the exercise session, start with your strength training and split it up between pushing, pulling, squatting, and hinging, okay? Pushing means all the pushing muscles. So things like presses, bench presses, shoulder presses, push-ups, dumbbell presses, anything that is a pressing, pushing motion. Pulling is the opposite, all right? So we want to use our pulling muscles. We want to work on pulling, so rows, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, pull-ups, things of that nature, all right? Squatting, any sort of squatting variation, front squats, back squats, dumbbell squats, goblet squats, kettlebells, anything that you can do in a squatting motion, lunges, okay, things like that. And then hinging, and that simply means hinging at the waist, like you're bending over without necessarily squatting down. So doing things like deadlifts, doing things like kettlebell swings, those are all hinging motions. Also, We want to do a high intensity finisher after your weight session, all right? This is only gonna take you like 10 or 15 minutes, so just go and push it hard. You'll be in and out of the gym and your body will love you for it, all right? Remember, we want to work our full body every time in the finishers. We also want to take the first part of our workout and focus on that strength and building muscle, okay? This is where you'll either be doing strength or where you'll be doing a little bit lighter weights but higher reps depending on the muscles you're working, maybe in the 8 to 12 range just to build that muscle. Nice and controlled movements. And remember, the second part of your workout is to condition the body and to start tapping into that body fat for fuel and to stoke that fire so that you're burning hot for the next 36 to 48 hours, okay? Now, let's make sure that you take all this information and you utilize it. You want to get the most out of all this, and we just have one missing part to this blueprint, and that is sleep. This is how we maximize our results in the kitchen and in the gym and in our day, at work, everywhere, okay? It is very, very important. And I know as a business owner and an entrepreneur that we all feel like Superman and that sleep is for the weak and we'll sleep when we're dead and yada, yada, yada. But in reality, a lack of sleep makes you weak, okay? Sleep, this is the only time that our body gets a chance to recover and grow and adapt to all the stress that we're giving it, is when we sleep. And you need 7 to 9 hours. Anything more than that actually yields diminishing returns, okay? So I know some of us want to catch up on our sleep on the weekend and we think that we'll be okay, and that can be to a certain extent, but after about 9 hours, your body will actually start to feel more tired. So whenever your body says wake up, as long as it's been at least 7 hours or so, go ahead and get out of bed. If you need to take a little nap earlier in the day, if somehow you manage to do that, God bless you, because I know that I don't ever have time for naps. And I know so many times I've gotten 4 to 5 hours of sleep and I said, I'm fine, I can function on 4 to 5 hours, I feel good. But the reality is that you don't. As a matter of fact, studies show that being sleep deprived for just 2 to 3 hours can cause you to function as if you had a blood alcohol level of 0.08. Isn't that crazy? Another fact is that 2 to 3 hours of sleep deprivation will cause you to wake up with the same level of insulin sensitivity as a type 2 diabetic. Okay, so yes, just a couple hours of missed sleep can briefly turn you into a diabetic. So you have to make sure that you have a kick-ass sleep environment that will allow for the deepest, most restful sleep possible. And we can assure that that happens by taking care of just a few simple things. First, the room needs to be as dark as possible. Our bodies produce a hormone called melatonin to help us fall asleep into a deep sleep, and even the light from your alarm clock can disrupt this. So even though we don't see it because our eyes are closed, our skin has photoreceptors that can pick up on light. So your cell phone light, your clock light, light coming in through your windows, whatever, we will actually pick it up and it can disrupt our sleep patterns. The second thing is we want to make sure that the room is nice and cold, okay? There's been a few studies on this as well, and they've shown that the optimal sleeping temperature is actually right around 68 degrees. So I know not all of us like to turn down our thermostats that low, but I encourage you, if you can get it down to 70, you will begin to sleep much better if you're not doing that already. And try to keep yourself nice and cool when you sleep. That doesn't mean you can't wrap up in a blanket. I know my girlfriend is cold all the time anyway, so that doesn't mean that you have to just freeze your ass off while you sleep, but the room should be nice and cold. And finally, you really need to try and stop looking at screens at least an hour before bed, okay? The same thing from point number 1 about the room being dark. The blue light that is emitted from the screens can also affect that melatonin production and our circadian rhythms and prevent us from getting the best sleep possible, okay? It'll keep us in a very light sleep even after we are done looking at that, because your body's going to think that it's still daylight because of that blue light spectrum. So if for some reason you absolutely have to be on the computer because you need to answer emails or you need to answer Facebook messages, or you're just staring at your phone doing the same thing, or even if you're just up because you want to watch a little bit of TV before you go to bed in order to relax and unwind, there's a little simple and very inexpensive hack that you can do that'll help with this. Simply buy yourself a pair of orange lens sunglasses, kind of like these, and the orange lenses will actually block that blue light spectrum and start to regulate your sleep pattern a little bit better, start to help your body realize that it is nighttime and produce melatonin and help you go into that nice restful sleep. And also, if you're on the computer, this is something that I use personally. There's an app that you can download called Flux, which will automatically start to reduce the amount of blue light emitted from your screen in accordance with the sunset. And that's really awesome. So as the sun starts to go down, the screen, you'll actually notice it at a certain time of day. It will start to kind of turn orangish, and you can actually feel yourself relaxing a little bit as it does it. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty sweet. And there you have it, the exact blueprint I use on myself and my busy clients to get them in the best physical and mental shape of their life without them having to spend hours in the gym or in the kitchen. That is exactly what I do. I just tailor it to every single one of them because we're all different. But you guys now have the information that you need to start implementing this in your own life and start getting the results that you want this very week. Okay, so I hope you were taking notes. I hope you guys were listening in very carefully. But if you're like me, you like having a personalized system that was created with your specific needs in mind. Okay, you don't want to have to think about every single little detail. Am I getting my food right? Is this too many carbs? Am I planning my workouts correctly? Is this right for my body type? Is this too little carbs? Am I working out too much? Can I work out more? I mean, there are so many things that go into really dialing in a program because let's face it, we are all very individual. And the blueprint that I gave you will get you 90% of the way there. Now, you have to dial it in for your specific needs, your specific lifestyle, your specific body type. So I know that I personally like to take out as much of the guesswork as possible. That is why I write everything down for myself. That is why I look and plan so that I know when I go to the gym, I know exactly what I'm going to do. When I wake up in the morning, I know exactly what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to have for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, when my workout's going to be, what my post-workout meal is going to be. Because if I don't, then yes, even me as a professional, I find myself on some days either not motivated or scrambling around with brain fog, and really that's just not the way to go about it. So also, you work best when you have someone you're accountable to, when you have a mentor that can give you tasks and deadlines to help you get to your goal faster. So that is why I'm making available my new 12-week online program, the Healthy and Wealthy Training Program, which is going to be available to you exclusively on this webinar. This is where I will be your personal health and wellness mentor, and I will help you drop those 10 to 20 extra pounds that you're carrying around. So it's a complete done-for-you program. That means that I'm going to try to take away as much of the guesswork as I can for you. All you have to do is show up, follow my directions, be accountable, and I am going to make sure that you are getting everything you need for your specific goal and body type. I'm not talking some generic diet template like many other people put out there, okay? Some of those are great starting points, but in order to get really good results, in order to get the maximum out of your training efforts, out of your diet, out of your sleep, everything, you need to be able to adjust how you're eating and how you're exercising specifically to you and specifically to what your stress levels are, what your day-to-day is like, what your life is like. So I personally like to have somebody there, and I've had coaches of my own, and yes, I'm a coach, but you know what? Sometimes we just need somebody there telling us what to do, and if anything, just to hold us accountable. So if you want to make sure that you're doing things the right way, if you want to look better, and more importantly, feel better than you ever have, if you want the accountability, which is huge, of having your own personal fitness mentor teaching you exactly what you need to do step by step, then this program is specifically for you. The 12-week program is going to be broken down into 4 separate phases. Phase number 1 is going to be what I call the reduction in inflammation phase. Okay, this is where we're going to make sure that we enhance your overall organ function so that you can burn the maximum amount of fat and begin to feel more energy, more vitality, alertness, mental clarity, and just start feeling good. Okay, it's important for us to feel good before you start any program, because if not, what you're going to do is you're going to cause yourself to burn out. So you need to make sure that you get the introductory portion right. And you know what? As people who are either running our own businesses or in charge of large groups, and we have those A-type personalities where we just want to get after it, sometimes that's not the best approach, okay? Because we go full-on balls to the wall right off the bat, and then what ends up happening is that 4 to 6 weeks into it, maybe 8 weeks into it, we start to burn ourselves out, okay? So phase one is very, very important to get you guys prepped and ready and feeling great to maintain what you are about to learn for the rest of your life. Phase two, this is where we begin to optimize your hormones. Remember, controlling the proper hormones is how we raise your body's metabolism. In this phase, you'll learn how to trigger your body to turn on more of those fat-burning hormones and turn off the fat-storing hormones. So this is going to be another critical phase, and they all will build off of each other. And this is how you get results that you can maintain for life. In phase three, this is what I call the fat loss phase. Now, you'll definitely be dropping pounds during the first two phases, but this is where you really start to notice that your body is changing. And then finally in phase four, the prize. This is where we start to bring it all together. Now your body is really starting to take shape. You have a great idea of how you react to specific foods and exercise, and you're learning how to manipulate your body. So now by phase four, the weight is coming off, and you are well on your way to meeting your goal if you haven't already surpassed it. So this program is going to start 1 week from today, okay? And it's a very personalized program, and because of this, I can only work with a handful of people at a time. So it's for this reason that I'm going to cap the program at just 10 people. And I'm not just saying this to you guys for some sort of false sense of scarcity or sales tactic or anything like that. I get deeply involved with my personal clients. I check in on you guys. I am constantly making sure that we are on track. I like to see what you're eating. I like to keep track of how you're sleeping. Heck, I may even ask you how you're going to the bathroom, okay? And if you're uncomfortable with that, hey, guess what? You know, one of the things I used to tell my other clients is everything starts in the gut, and if it's not coming out, it's not coming off. So everything, you will get my 100% attention, and that is why I have to limit it to this, because unfortunately right now I am only one person, so there's only a certain number of people that I can handle where I can give you the high level of attention that you deserve, okay? And as a matter of fact, with my last group of clients, we did this and had fantastic results. And here's a little bit of what some of them had to say. Jose has been great. He has been a great motivator, and after 3 weeks I am already seeing some results. For the first time in years, I am more flexible and have actually been able to jog again. After spending 6 years yo-yo dieting and running/walking for exercise, Jose was the person who truly taught me about nutrition and how to work out my body. I have now dropped 4 sizes using the information he taught me. He still to this day is a motivator and one of my best sources for health and fitness information. He has truly impacted my life more than any other fitness professional. Jose is someone who not only is passionate about health and fitness, but is also a great example of practicing what you preach. So many trainers just tell you what to do while engaging in their own unhealthy practices. Jose really takes the time to lead by instruction and example, and this makes him unique. As a close family friend, I've always trusted health and fitness advice from Jose, and he has never let me down on achieving my goals. He has worked with me long distance over the years and truly cares about the holistic process/elements of health. By far the best trainer I've ever had. Jose is extremely knowledgeable when it comes to training. Not only did I see real results in the few months I was with him, but I learned so much about living a healthy lifestyle. I was 34 years old and never worked out a day in my life. My first day training, I thought I was going to die. But Jose has a gift of bringing out the inner athlete in anyone. Shockingly, my strength and endurance doubled and in some cases tripled. Jose knows how to challenge you, but still makes the workout fun. Each workout was filled with good pain, sweat, laughs, and jokes. Best trainer ever, hands down. It's so much fun to impact people's lives. I love seeing those things, and it really, really, really reminds me of why I do what I do. And you know what? I've seen other coaches charge upwards of $5,000 for similar programs. And I know with the amount of information that you get and the level of expertise that comes along with this, that's totally worth it. I mean, remember, you're not paying per session for an hour of somebody's time. You're paying for the years and years and years of knowledge that we've gained, the trials and errors that we've gone through, all the BS that we've sorted through out there with all the fads that come about, this diet, this supplement, that supplement, new workout program. I mean, everything, okay? And what our job is and what my job is to sort through all of that and bring to you exactly what is going to work for you. So, however, I want to make this accessible to those who really want it and are willing to put in the work. I want to work with people who are go-getters, so I'm not going to charge you $5,000 for this program. The complete 12-week program is only going to be $29.99. And just to take out some of the fear, if you're not sure whether you want to do this or not, I'm going to give you a 100% money-back guarantee. I am that confident that if you go through the program, do exactly as I say, and you're not completely satisfied with your results, I will refund you 100% of your money, no questions asked. I don't even care if you went through all 12 weeks. So now you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. But I'll tell you what, in the spirit of a new year, because it's early on in the year, I'm actually gonna just make this a no-brainer for you guys right now, since you're gonna be one of the first groups to take advantage of this program. I'm gonna give the first 10 people that sign up the opportunity to get full access to the program for only $19.99. And just to recap what you're gonna get for that, which is a ridiculous amount of value. I mean, I can't even explain to you the amount of information that you're gonna get, but I'm gonna make sure you learn it, because after this 12 weeks, I want you to be able to maintain this. So you're going to get the 12 weeks with me as your personal fitness mentor. You're going to get your nutrition guidelines tailored to your specific body type, complete with recipes, grocery lists, sample menus, everything that I can do for you to help take as much of the guesswork out as you can. Okay, you tell me what you like to eat and what you don't like to eat, and we will adjust as we go so that you have the perfect nutrition guidelines for you and even for your family. You're also going to get weekly workouts that are designed to push you at your specific levels and abilities, and that way you are constantly making progress and you don't have to worry about whether you're pushing too hard, not hard enough, whether you're going to plateau. You're not going to plateau. Not with me as your coach. I'm not going to let that happen. You're also going to get 2 weekly coaching calls, and these are going to be designed to keep you accountable, to keep you motivated, and also to make sure that you're learning all the skills and concepts that we're going to be covering along the way. So it's going to be a way for you to be able to ask me questions directly, to clarify anything that maybe you're not understanding or may not be working for you. Okay, so this is how I'm going to be able to really keep track of you guys and be able to help you at my best possible abilities. You're also going to get unlimited email access to me. I'm going to set up a private email just for you guys so that I know when I get emails in that email list, it's from you, and I will get back to you. Those are going to be my priority. You can ask me questions there 24/7. And not only that, you're also going to get a private Facebook group where you can be supported, stay motivated, and ask questions from me there as well, and from the other members that are going to be in the program. And it's just going to be a really nice support group. You guys are all going to be going through similar things, so you can all share what works and what doesn't work for you and your successes, and just have even that much more accountability, because as studies have shown, the accountability, when you tell people publicly that you're going to do something, you are way more likely to get that done. So everything I just mentioned for only $19.99, and as if that wasn't easy enough, I'll even let you guys make monthly payments on this. So if you really want to sign up for this program, and maybe you're not sure whether you can just put $19.99 towards something, then you can pay it off through those 12 weeks. It's just 3 payments of $665 per month. And don't forget that you still will get that 100% money back guarantee. So if you go through the program and you're not 100% satisfied, just let me know and I will refund you all of the money that you had into the program. So if you're ready to be one of the 10 people that takes advantage of this great opportunity, go ahead, click on the buttons below to add yourself to the cart, to the training sessions, to my list of those first 10 people, and I will make sure that you have everything you need and you're ready to go when this program launches in a week from now. I look forward to working with those of you that take action, and I cannot wait to watch you transform. Take care, guys.